call, John.
Good evening. We're in Studio 6B today. It's June 29th, 2025, Sunday, and it's my honor and my distinct pleasure to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
You're looking well.
New sweater.
I know. Yeah, I was going to say.
What'd you say?
I can't keep up with you. You have new sweaters and shirts every recording.
That's a new sweater.
New sweater. You're looking good. New. Only one I think that has much clothes as this guy was Liberace.
Oh yeah.
Liberace had a lot of clothes, and you're the second. You got.
You look sharp, John. That's a
This
nice
guy, listen, this guy. I seen it. This guy's closets are the size of most people's master bedrooms.
Oh, come on.
You got a lot of style for 100 years old. I'm complimenting you. You
That
really
looks
do.
really nice on you. Your sweater looks
you
really
look
nice.
very nice.
Yeah.
You look very nice.
Very nice sweater.
You look very nice.
It's cable knit.
Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by many mottos, but here's the one he speaks of daily. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Yeah, today is a gift. Listen, boys and girls, it truly is a short dance around the sun. Time goes quickly. Time goes quickly. Mr. Jeckovich told me a few weeks ago, and I believe exactly his words. He says, I blinked my eyes at 20 years old, now I'm 100. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Where the hell did 80 years go?
Yeah, where'd they go? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, young boys and girls, enjoy every day. It'll go quickly. Soon you'll be the center of attention, like Mr. Jeckovich is, because it goes fucking quickly. No one's going to beat Father Time. Father Time will kick your ass each and every day. So enjoy your days. Enjoy your days to the fullest. Mr. Jeckovich is a great example. He reads 3 newspapers plus several magazines every morning, including the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. He reads all these newspapers and magazines with no glasses at all. Every day, even at 100 years old, he's learning. Every person has to keep learning. It gives you a great purpose in life to keep learning. Mr. Jeckovich has been camera shy all his life, but the last 3.5 years, he's probably been in over 600 podcasts and had his picture taken tens of thousands of times. It's a beautiful thing. Mr. Jeckovich wrote that book titled Their Mother's Sons. Oh, by the way, how many pages?
849.
849 pages. He wrote that book, 849 pages. Did you have Google?
No.
Did you have AI?
No.
Did you have a laptop?
No, I had yellow pages.
Yeah, yellow legal pads, right?
Yeah.
What a job! What a great chore! And his book, once again, is titled "Their Mother's Sons," and we get hundreds and hundreds of texts from Mr. Jeckovich a week. Sometimes people call. You could call him. Mr. Jeckovich loves talking to people, and his mind is like a library. You can text him any question you want. For example, how much is the book?
It's not for sale.
That book is not for sale and never will be for sale. It's not about money. Mr. Jeckovich is fine in that department. The book was written for the sole purpose, and the only purpose, to give the younger generation an easier and better life, and primarily a more wholesome life. A more wholesome life. Because right now we're in a society where everything is dog eat dog. Doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. But Mr. Jeckovich, as I said, his mind is like a library. He reads and learns. Worked for Kimberly-Clark for 35 years and had numerous businesses in Niagara Falls, New York. Laundromats, snow plowing, construction, wallpaper. The list is long, right?
Yeah.
List is long. So text Mr. Jeckovich any questions you might have at area code 407-366-0000. Text Mr. Jeckovich at area code 407-366-0000. Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925. So here we are, folks, 2025. 2025. You grew up through the Great Depression. Did you think you were poor?
What?
You grew up through the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Did you think you were poor?
No.
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 You thought you had a regular, normal
Yeah,
life,
I mean,
right?
I had a suit for Christmas, for Easter.
You didn't miss nothing.
No.
You went to two high schools. You went to Niagara Falls High School and Trot Vocational High School, and you started your journey 5 days a week from 3063 Orleans Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York. When you left early in the morning to your first high school, how'd you get there?
Walked.
How many miles was it?
That's 4 miles.
And then you are simultaneously going to Trot Vocational High School. You would leave your first high school and you go to Trot. How many miles?
That's 7 miles.
What courses did you take in Trot?
Electrical.
Electrical. Yeah, believe it or not, we need more electricians. We need more plumbers. We need more AC people. This is where the money is at, folks. You can make a lot of money and have a good trade for the rest of your life, and you can possibly pass it down to your kids. A lot of these kids are graduating with 4-year degrees in psychology and all kinds of stuff. Sad to say, but they're working in Burger King and McDonald's. It's the trades. Everyone needs a trade, right?
Yeah.
Then and now. Maybe more so now. Maybe more so now. And then after you left Trad Vocational High School, where'd you walk to?
To Kresge's.
And how far was that?
That was 8 miles.
So this is what you did 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Did you ever complain to your mother?
No.
Did your mother buy you a car at 16?
No.
No. And what did you do at Kresge?
The what?
What did you do at SS Kresge?
SS Kresge?
And what type of work did you do there?
Stock boy.
Stock boy. And your mother worked there too, didn't
Yeah,
she?
she's a cook.
And then she always kind of slide you out a nice sandwich.
Yeah.
Did she allow you to eat upstairs?
No, I eat down in the basement candy room.
You had to eat in the basement, right? By the way, SS Kresge, back when Mr. Jeckovich was a boy, was in every neighborhood in every city just about in the United States. SS Kresge merged into Kmart, and Kmart eventually went under. The malls destroyed it, and now the malls are going on the wayside, and the small businesses in downtowns are hopefully coming back. It's just the way the cycle is. It's a wonderful, real estate cycle. It always does that. Like in 2008 to 9, you could have bought tremendous deals on, say, houses. Tremendous deals in 2008 and 9. Now the cycle's swinging back. Give it another 10 months to a year, you'll be back like 2008 and 9. The sellers today do not realize it. It's a buyer's market yet. They don't realize it. But give them a year sitting on their houses. They're going to realize it. And they're going to realize it in a big way. Coming up in 10 months, 11 months, or a year, you have more foreclosures. You have more foreclosure auctions to buy properties than ever before in the history of the United States. So save your money, because get ready, because it's coming, and you could get some really tremendous deals coming up. Like I said, it's a buyer's market. The sellers don't realize it yet, but they sure will. We have the largest inventory of homes for sale in Florida than ever before. Some of the hot spots where there's massive unsold homes are Tampa and Orlando. You get a lot of good deals. Miami, not so much, but still, besides South Florida, you'll be able to get just unbelievable investments in 8 to 10 months. So save your coins, have your money ready to go. You'll have the best deals of the lifetime.
And John was smart. He did that decades ago in Florida.
Yeah, that's right. So we have tons and tons, I should just say, of text messages. You want me to put a couple pages of the book under our belt that I can read the text?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the second time around for Mr. Jeckovich's book. As we said, the book is not for sale. Not now nor never. There's a original copy of it in the World War II Museum in New Orleans. World War II Museum in New Orleans. And but you can listen, you can hear about the book for free. You can get all the data for free. We read the complete entirety of his book, 849 pages, already once. Listen to his podcast, Bulge Busters, John Jeckovich, easy to find. And you can take it from page 1 to the end. Now we're the second time around.
Yeah.
We're on the 7th chapter. We're the second time around. So here we are, we're on page 173, and this titles of this chapter is Overseas and Beyond. And to give you an update where we stand, overseas and beyond, Mr. Jeckovich is just getting off the troop ship from New York to Wales, and he's getting ready to be sent to the front line. So the troop ship is getting ready to hit land. So we're that close. So
This book gives you the name of the boat, the troop ship.
Yeah, troop ship.
Yeah, it gives you the name of it.
Yeah.
It's right here. Alexander.
Yeah, the troop ship, according to Mr. Jeckovich's notes, is United States Army Transport Edmund B. Alexander, steamed out of New York Harbor, carried a 291st, that's Mr. Jeckovich infantry, to the destination to which has been pointed for 17 months, the European theater of operation. So you were so happy when you got on that troop ship and you knew you weren't going to the Pacific.
Yeah.
You didn't want to go to the Pacific.
No.
That troop ship, what was its life prior?
That was what?
That troop ship, what did it start off as?
Luxury liner.
A luxury liner.
And they converted it to a troop ship.
Tell us what the accommodations were like inside that ship.
Well, there were 4 high berths. They're crowded, they're jammed in.
How close was your nose to the ceiling?
Pretty close, you couldn't turn your head, you could scratch your nose off.
It was very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Were all your cots jammed in and the hallways were about 2 feet wide?
Yeah.
Very difficult to change and very difficult to go through. Was all your cots under the waterline?
Yeah.
And so when you had the opportunity, you spend most of your time up on deck.
Yeah.
Fresh air.
Yeah.
Was there any fresh air down below?
No.
Horrible. Horrible, right?
Yeah.
And how were the conditions as far as the food?
It was a limey ship, it was greasy.
It made you sick?
No, it didn't make me sick, but it didn't fulfill my appetite.
And tell us the ways you would have to eat on the trip. On a troop ship, I was told there was no chairs or table. How did you eat? Standing up.
Standing up, and you had to hang on to it because the boat would bite you all over.
So you got one hand on your plate, standing up in the corner, the other hand on the wall, and you're trying to eat that way because the boat is getting hit by heavy waves all the time. Wow. Did you hear the rumble of the massive diesel engines in there?
What?
Did you hear the rumble of the massive diesel engines?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, weren't you like a sitting duck out there in that ship?
No, we were in a convoy.
So you had hundreds of other
Yeah, but you couldn't see them. They were miles apart.
So by the time any enemy wanted to come and shoot you down, he would have been picked up by then.
Oh, yeah, they'd been overpowered.
He'd be picked up, so he'd never be able to make it to your
Yeah.
to the troop ship. Yeah, that's a good point. Otherwise, it would have knocked out 30,000 young GIs in one blow. We don't want to have that. Can't have that. Okay, so we're getting close to getting land in Wales, and 173 overseas and beyond. The question of death was brought up quite frequently, and there are varying degrees of thought on the subject. My own personal view was that if death came, I wanted it to come swift and complete. Leip's death came swift and complete, right?
That's what?
You said my own personal view was that if death came, I wanted it swift and complete.
Don't take half my body.
Yeah, and Leip's body,
Yeah.
body,
Did that.
yeah, came quick.
Yeah.
Blew off his head.
Yeah.
Dirty bomb, his buddy Donald Leip. And Mr. Jeckovich still has part of that bomb in his leg. They couldn't remove all the shrapnel. I didn't want to leave the Army with missing limbs or vital parts. Of course, the entire discussion was predicated on our simplest, naive, and inexperienced viewpoint of the war and its aftermath. One brisk morning, about the 16th day at sea, we could catch a glimpse of land at a far distant horizon. That must have been a nice view.
Yeah, it was Wales.
That must have been a nice view.
Yeah.
Wow. We wondered where we were, and some of the ship's crew informed us they were heading for the southern coast of England, probably South Wales,
Yeah.
where you spent a lot of time in Haverfordwest.
Yeah.
And you met a beautiful girl there. I don't know how this guy was in all these wars, and he had 4 major romances with 4 different people. You had the first romance in Owensboro, Kentucky. We talked about that with Anne Mahaney. And then the second one, at Haverfordwest, you met a beautiful girl. Her father was the mayor of Haverfordwest.
Yeah.
Her name was Jean Roland Young.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell us
We
about,
never find her though.
I know, but I'm going to get to that. Tell us a little bit about Jean Roland Young.
Well, she was a school teacher.
Yeah.
Her father was the mayor of that small town.
Yeah. And you guys spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what are some of the things you did? You would sit, everything was dark, blacked out because of
Yeah.
the war, and you would sit and watch the Spitfires going by. And,
Oh, yeah, Spitfires and stuff. And the black fuel, flames coming out the back of their exhaust.
and where would you and Jean Roland Young sit to watch all this?
I sit on a bench in the park.
Yeah. But in Haverfordwest, there were still stores were open, right?
Yeah.
There were still cafes open, right?
Yeah, but everything was blacked out.
Blacked out. Yeah. So we located Mr. Jeckovich's first girlfriend, who they were on the verge of marrying. Her name was Anne Mahaney from Owensboro, Kentucky. And the interesting fact there, they had quite a great romance. And it just didn't work out. Mr. Jeckovich said before he got shipped overseas, he would call her, but one thing led to another, and life took over. But he did call her. He did call up Anne Mahaney as he promised, but unfortunately, it was 80 years later, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich picked up the phone. He called her, and ironically enough, she answered the phone. In Mr. Jeckovich's mind, he's thinking her as a young 19, 20-year-old girl full of energy and, bubbly and...
Yeah, well, she was feeble.
So how did it sound when you got a hold of her 80 years later?
Yeah.
How'd she sound?
Feeble.
Yeah. Father Time, here we go, doesn't wait for nothing. She's in her 90s, but she answered the phone when he called 80 years later, and I witnessed it. It's unbelievable. And right after you were kind of disappointed, but you had to expect that a 90-some-year-old is not bubbly like a 19-year-old female. Now, for sure. And what did you do right after that phone call? What did you do about the picture?
I took the picture off the wall, put my mother's picture up.
Yeah.
Wrapped up in the towel.
Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich had Anne Mahaney's picture up in his office for decades and decades. And then after that phone call, I guess he knew the jig was up. It's not going to go anywhere. So we removed her picture, wrapped up in a towel, and where'd you put it?
In the filing cabinet.
Yeah. And behind the picture, the wall was certainly discolored in the spot where the picture hung. And then you put up the picture of your mother.
Yeah.
And that's how we get back to, once again, their mother's sons. So now it's appropriate time to say he's getting close to landing in Haverfordwest, and he met a beautiful another girl. He had 4 girlfriends during World War II. I don't know how the hell someone has time to have 4 girlfriends, but he did. It's in the book. We'll take it step by step. But her name was Jean Roland Young. Jean Roland Young. Tell us a little bit about her, so we'll give us a picture how she looks.
Oh, she was a beautiful girl, nice personality. She's a school teacher.
And what was her? Was she a big girl, tiny girl? What was she?
Modern. No, she was average weight. She wasn't fat or nothing.
No, was she very bubbly,
Yeah,
energetic?
yeah. Had good personality.
Yeah.
But we don't know what happened to her.
Well, we're going to get to that. Didn't you one time you took a 6x6 and bought her lots of food for her family?
Oh, yeah.
Courtesy of Uncle Sam?
Yeah, from the mess hall.
Yeah, didn't they appreciate it though?
Oh, yeah.
Because everything was rationed back then at the time, and Mr. Jeckovich got a 6x6, and the roads are very, very narrow. And a 6x6 barely fit through the roads. He brought their family, the Young family, lots of stuff courtesy of Uncle Sam. Like, what kind of jars were they? The cans.
Number 10s.
Number 10s.
They're big cans.
Could you give us an idea with your hands how big a 10 is?
How big a can
Could
was?
you show us how big a size of a 10 can is? With your hands, could you show us?
They're about this big.
And what was in all these cans?
Well, fruit, corn, some delicacies and that.
Yeah. It was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
And did the 6x6 barely make it through the roads because the roads are narrow, right?
Oh, yeah, because they had they were for horses.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. They were made for horses and certainly no military 6x6. So the story continues. Mr. Jeckovich spent many times with Jean Roland Young. It was a beautiful relationship. I guess marriage was on the table also. How do you think your mother would have accepted Jean Roland Young?
I don't think she would accept her.
No?
No.
So,
It's a different culture.
yeah. So let's get back to Jean Roland Young's story. Mr. Jeckovich, as we said, we found Ann Mahaney. He called the same number. She picked up the phone and they talked. And now Jean Roland Young is a different situation. It's a different situation. Jean Roland Young, we sent a few private investigators from Wales to go to the old residence, talk to neighbors, did everything possible, spent a lot of time and a lot of resources trying to speak with Jean Roland Young. And we came up with dead ends after dead ends after dead ends. So now we sent in a private investigator from Paris, give a second guy a shot at it, and he came up with dead ends. It's hard to believe we came up with all these dead ends, especially her father at one time was the mayor of Haverfordwest in the mid-1940s. And so then we took another bold step with some of our contacts at the Daily Mail, one of the largest newspapers in England, London. They sometimes they have a circulation of 1 million a day. It's not a small paper. It's a big enterprise. You could Google this and see the nice story they wrote. We had them write a full-page story about Mr. Jeckovich in search of Jean Roland Young. It really came up empty, the whole thing. We couldn't find a family. We had a couple of leads. We followed up on them, but we came up completely empty. Completely empty. So if anyone listening knows about Jean Roland Young's family and Haverfordwest, send us a text. We're not going to give up. We're into this till the wheels fall off. We're going to find her, or find the family, or find what happened to her.
Oh, he's probably dead by now.
But we'll still find out.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll get back to the getting off the ship. But at this time here, since we're talking about the girlfriends, let's talk about one other one to get out of the way, and that was Renee. Renee was his next girlfriend many months later when Mr. Jeckovich, he was shot in the shoulder, he was beat up, he was stabbed,
Lost a
bombed,
hip.
lost a hip, shrapnel still in his body, frostbite trench foot.
Yeah, still got it right here.
80 years later, this man still suffers from frostbite on a daily basis.
Yeah.
What's the pain level like?
About 7 or 8.
Every day,
Yeah,
every minute of the day.
especially at night.
Yeah. So anyways, she was sent over to Paris for 3 or 4 months to go to the hospital. And here we go again. Girlfriend number 3. This goes on and on and
I don't
on.
know if it's number 3 or 4.
Well, whatever. I don't know how the hell you have all these how do you have one girlfriend during the middle of a war?
Huh?
How do you have all these girlfriends in the middle of a war? Okay, so let's talk about Renee for a minute. This is a beautiful young lady. She's in the convent.
What was Renee's last name?
Huh?
What was Renee's last name?
Renee?
Yeah,
It was French name.
yeah.
We'll pick up on it. I have it in the notes. Renee was at the time a Roman Catholic nun up in Paris.
3.5 minutes.
And she, young girl, and she got very devout Catholic, but even the Pope questions their faith. That's for a fact. She got her first notice that her parents, I imagine her mom and dad were like late 30s, early 40s, got killed and tortured by the Nazis because the Nazis were occupying Paris for 4 long years until Mr. Jeckovich and thousands and tens of thousands of other American soldiers kicked the Nazis' ass out. But she got notice that, Renee got notice that her parents were killed and tortured by the Nazis. So she remained in a convent, and then a short time later she received notice that her teenage brothers, I imagine one was 15 and one was 17, or something of that nature, those two brothers were also killed and tortured by the Nazis when the Nazis occupied Paris. So at this time she's questioning her faith. As I said, even the Pope questions her faith. It's just a fact of life. It happens. She left the convent, and what did she join?
The resistance.
The French Resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was her talent? Was she had great talent in doing?
What?
What was her talent? What did she do?
She could paint faces. Real faces. And the German high command loves that, so they went there to get the painted. And they were bragging about what they're doing, and she picked up the information and gave it to the Allies.
Okay, so this is eventually what took place. She had a studio, an apartment, I guess her family had, in Paris, not far from the Eiffel Tower. And in that studio on the second floor, Mr. Jeckovich went there, and this is after they kicked the rest of the soldiers, American soldiers, kicked their asses out of the Nazis. They moved them out of France. But he went up there for the first time. And how did you initially meet Renee?
How did I meet her?
Yeah. How did you meet Renee?
She was upstairs painting.
I see. And then when you went there and seen her, weren't you kind of amazed to see all the SS and all the Nazi officers in her studio being the portraits of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you thinking then?
Well, she was bleeding for information.
Yeah. So when the Nazis were still occupying Paris, she would be painting their portraits of the SS and all high-ranking Nazis, and she was like a fly on the wall. She was trying to give information, so she could give it to the French Resistance.
25 seconds.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what finally happened to Renee?
Well, she found out about her and took her out of the woods and shot her.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Shot her in the head.
And that was the end of Renee.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
So now we have the story on 3.
3 girlfriends.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna pick this up tomorrow.
Okay, we